What is Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black Uchiha 3 long face skinny body, and we are back, of course, still black, with some more fire Boruto manga related content. Now before we end the video, you're new to Dilio. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, share the video with your friends, and let's hop to the business. Yes sir. Ski.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Okay, so Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 24 has left us in a space of incognito, right? A lot of questionings in terms of Boruto's initiative to head back to the village with everyone else, right? Not necessarily an issue of him heading back to the village, but more so is like, what kind of reaction would Boruto returning to a village on a completed and successful mission such as this would look like, and if Boruto even intends on fully actually going to the village as opposed to just ensuring that they make it safely to a certain checkpoint and then rendezvousing with Kashin-Koji, which might seem very realistic, but then we also have to take into account all of these futures that my guy Kashin-Koji was able to see previously in the midst of Boruto's and Jura's battle prior to Kawaki saving the day, right? So changes have occurred, new instances are actually undergoing, and one of the first of those instances is actually Mamushi making his way towards Ada. Now, Mamushi is going towards the Hidden Leaf. Now, we know that Ada's necessarily home, right? The place that she's staying at is kind of like a bunker that Shikamaru and Naruto had set up 3 years ago in the past, right? Outside of the skirts of the village. So it's not necessarily within the Hidden Leaf village, but it's on Hidden Leaf territory, right? On Hidden Leaf property. So for the most part, if Ada isn't out shopping, if she's not out enjoying a little tea time and cookies with Damon, she's more than likely at the crib chilling once she gets this news from Kashin-Koji that Mamushi is actually about to make a move. We see Damon's hair in some of the flash forward scenes, but we understand for the most part, another showdown between the Shinju is approaching and new insights are being added, right? For each of the Shinju. So Jura has professed and proclaimed, right? Naruto is #1 on the bingo card. Now, everybody has been kind of in questioning in terms of whether it's the Nine Tails, whether it's Himawari, whether it's Naruto, right? And it's come to be more and more clarified each chapter as we see more and more context behind Jura that he is essentially using Kurama as an anchor to get the Naruto. And then where Himawari finds herself into that equation is that, well, damn, why does Himawari have Kurama instead of Naruto? So Naruto is still the original target, but now Himawari is more like a appetizer, because it's like, well, if I eat Himawari, well, I understand why she has a power that I'm searching Naruto for. But the main point of even getting Naruto is not the Nine Tails. So, right, Kurama being in Himawari doesn't automatically make Himawari #1 target, but more so the fact that Naruto was the one to bring the tail beasts together on this world, on this planet, and do so in a way that kind of emulates all of these sudden power-ups Jura has been seeing from Himawari herself, right? From Kawaki, and of course from Sarada, in all instances fighting to protect something that they love or i.e. care about, right? So Jura is trying to build on this aspect of what is love, whether it's a hindrance or whether it can be something to propel himself forward, and its likeness to humanity and how that connects and shares with the evolution of the Shinju is real philosophical with Jura's character. It's very, very much like a think piece. But moving forward, right, transitioning from this Land of Wind arc and going back to the Land of Fire, we understand all of these things are going down. So with Jura, all the multiple targets, whether it be Himawari, Naruto, or Kurama. Now, moving on to Mamushi, we understand he has been told that he's making a move. We understand that from Kashin-Koji, he's going to be pressing Ada. I don't know why people think it's really about to be that much of a big deal for Damon. He's gonna sweat. He might sweat, right? But he's gonna, it's gonna be a cakewalk for this guy. But Mamushi is finally long awaited. Everybody wants to see what he's gonna do. So now he's on the move. And then Hidari, right? This guy was actually reading at the end of Boruto chapter 24. Not only that, that's something that we've never seen him do. That is something that we've only seen Jura out of all 5 Shinju do. Acquire knowledge, obtain knowledge, just look for knowledge in the form of books, in the form of words. And Hidari is actually implementing the words that he's learning into real life scenarios. So now he's saying Jura's reaction to being complimented by Kawaki makes him think of a word that he recently learned. And the translation translates to basically disgusting as hell, sick as hell, not good. Basically, fix your face, fix your attitude. That's not nice. You know what I'm saying? So Hidari is learning, and he's showing these signs of evolving, whether that showcases towards a small implication of betrayal on the Shinju's end, or that showcases towards, y'all know, I've said this time again, before Hidari meets up with Sarada, we have to at least understand one of two things with the character. He either is getting a power-up, or he is becoming more in tune and more inclined to his true power, because Sarada will no diff this man if he steps into her vicinity again, right? So I'm really excited for the fact that we see Hidari reading. We see him being patient. He's not anxious. He's not like antsy, like, nah, they don't Rasengan and Karma blast me out of existence. I want Boruto, I want Kawaki, and I want Sarada's head, bro. It's over. We see him just chilling. We see him reading. We see him learning. So we understand all of these aspects for each of these characters. For the most part, moving forward, we know for a fact Mamushi is going to be the one that's enticing battle going forward. But we also see Himawari battling. We see the likes of Team 10 battling, right? So how far along are we in terms of how many more of the Shinju will actually be going into battle, and which Shinju are actually recovered, i.e. or ninjas are recovered in the respective rights. We know that Jura is back in the hideout. We know that Araya has the Soul Thorn. We know that Konohamaru has the Soul Thorn. So for the most part, we should be expecting to see Shinki and Moegi back into the story sometime soon, getting back into the fold, and understanding that Jura, for the most part, doesn't have any more valuable assets to bring back as Shinju. Are we necessarily looking for more Shinju for the most part? Honestly, no, because Jura, Hidari, and Mamushi can get the job done, and then we also have to keep an eye out for this guy, Code, who's chilling in the cut. So a lot more antagonists to still build the story around, instead of having us bring in more Shinju and have to go through this whole entire ordeal again in one way, shape, or another. But for the most part, Boruto's actions within the last chapter, or should I say Boruto and Kawaki's actions, right? Boruto's plan and all of these actions being implemented into the plan has changed the future so much so that everything that we just went over in the last 7 minutes is essentially a product of Boruto's actions within the last few chapters, or, you know, a result of Boruto's choice to have that conversation with Kawaki back in chapter 15 in terms of removing his limiters and helping him to eventually take down Jura, but understanding that shot in taking down Jura isn't going to present itself at the very moment, like right now. But with anything that they can do to propel themselves forward an inch or 2 inches or 6 feet closer towards that goal is something that Boruto is willing to take. And we see that the gamble actually paid off. But all of these actions have enticed all of these changes to occur. So we're going to be seeing Himawari in action. We're going to be seeing Team 10 in action, right? We're going to be seeing Mamushi in action. We're going to be seeing Big Damon in action. Of course, we're going to be seeing Hidari and Sarada in action. So these Shinjus are going to be actually going on, I don't want to say a full assault, but I feel like these things are going to be playing one at a time, one step at a time, similar to how we see Matsuri and Ryu conduct their mission on their own. And previous to that, we saw Jura and Hidari conduct their mission on their own. And then in instances where we might see Jura interrupt, as he done in both previous missions in terms of trying to get the one up on Boruto, it's still gonna be there. All in all, though, the setup is nice, and it's kind of being presented as like a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? Because Boruto has essentially bought more time, but also cut the time short, because we understand in original timelines, Boruto lives till 20 at the very least until he is killed off by Jura. Right now, Boruto is 16, so we got 3 years too short. However, within this new timeline, Kawaki is tons of times stronger, right? And Boruto has possibly a more deeper and more meaningful support system than he did in those previous timelines and those previous futures. So going back to the original idea, Boruto is headed back to the village. So where do we see this going, and how is this next mission going to be kicked off? I don't think is going to be your typical quote-unquote mission. I think it's going to be an invasion. It's going to be some similar to how we saw in the start of TBV, right? Where Code is invading, where we got Jura and Hidari invading. Just random pop-ups at random points in random locations. But it's not going to be more so random to the fact that Ada is now privy to Momushi's arrival, but understanding that Boruto's arrival within the village might be cut short in terms of those long anticipated reactions, whether we see the elders try to attempt to get Jonin to arrest him, whether we see Boruto just flex on everybody and say, I already told y'all I'm gonna give y'all information if y'all ask for it, but I'm not gonna let y'all like try to do me any type of way. And plus on top of that, I got the strength to make sure y'all can't do me any type of way. So I think Boruto might even be able to have the balls to just straight up flex on him and lay like, yo, I'm gonna talk to the Hokage, I could talk to the daimyo, but at the end of the day, can't none of y'all reprimand me. And on top of it, Kawaki is out here working with me, so I don't even have to break a sweat and worrying about him. So now let's talk to me, like really what's up? So I really want to see how the dynamic is going to be pushed going forward. But even in the midst of all of this, things are going to get interrupted, and then things are going to start coming to light. So we're going to start off with the Mamushi tactic, with the Mamushi angle, right? And I believe he's going to be the first of the assault, and the capitalization of this ultimate like next arc is going to be the reveal that Naruto is still alive. But not only the reveal that Naruto is still alive, but the confirmation that Kawaki was the one and the reason why Naruto and Hinata have been disappeared for the last 3 years. But the main enemy, the main bad guy that Boruto has proven time and time again that he is on our side to help fight against, are after Naruto, and as a correlation of that, after Kawaki, because of his whole entire reasoning of sending Naruto wherever he sent Naruto at. So it's gonna be like a domino effect, right? And it's all because originally Boruto's changing of the timeline, but the setup for this next arc has all of these storylines in sync, and everything might just be falling in order, and it ties all the way from Team 10 to Himawari to Sarada to the Shinju to Boruto and Kawaki, and then eventually leading on to the Amado and the Kebi Otsutsuki story. But let me know how y'all feel about it, and let me know how y'all think, right, the changes in this timeline moving forward actually affected, you know, the future outcomes and the future potential battles within the story, and also Boruto's position once he actually returns into the village. But even beyond all of that, Jura's initial right approach is Naruto's now newfound targetcy, right? I can't say new, but renewed sense, because we understand that's the original target. But this renewed sense and now confirmation on Jura's end, is this going to shake things up to the point where we see all of these futures? That's why we see, like, why do we see Team 10 randomly in a cave, right? Why do we see Inojin fighting in a cave? Why do we see Himawari? I believe Naruto's information of being revealed and Kawaki confirming it that he's alive, and also the attack of Mamushi onto Ada and / Damon might cause so much confusion that people might just start hearing information, bits and pieces of details, and probably and possibly taking actions into their own hand. Because at this point, can you trust the Hokage? Shikamaru's under scrutiny from the daimyo, but then according to the daimyo, they want Boruto dead, but then Boruto not only just saved me, but damn near everybody else in the village. So who can you trust if everybody is telling you to say one thing and then you can't even trust your own memories? It's going to be a lot of insight going forward. So let me know how y'all feel about it and what are your thoughts. It's your boy Black Uchiha. Until my next video, holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Uchiha out. Yes, sir. Ski.